Well, I got into the meditation first. The meditation was a very pivotal moment for me because I'm a thinker. My mind was always racing. I'm always in my thoughts about how to get to the next step or the next spot without even finishing the first situation or, wrapping up the first thing I'm doing. And I needed a place where I could find a still spot where I can just not think, and not be so heavy in my head and just relax. So meditation granted me that stillness within, that just sit still, it's all good. And then from there, it's like you just tapped into this whole new portal. You're like, wait a minute, like, man, I actually can just sit still for a minute. And now you start seeing yourself, you start seeing your thoughts. But you can see how, it's like, it brings me back because I used to love to watch National Geographics, and sometimes you would see about how the river would just start, when it would be flood season and the rains come, and that water and everything the water hit, it just took it with it, and that's how my mind was. Just, it didn't matter what I was thinking about, it was something positive, but the way my thoughts were flowing, it would just tumble things over. So the meditation allowed me to have that stillness, that calm. So now when you see those pictures of the beach and everything is tranquil, and yeah, that's what the meditation does for me. Well, there's conversation that happens. One of my intros to the whole meditation concept is exposing children to emotional intelligence, critical thinking, helping kids understand, are they even aware of the way they feel? Because based on that, your feelings and your emotions, that'll let you know if you're in a position to sit still. It could be something that you're just going through that may not allow you the ability to just sit still for a moment. So when you can address certain feelings and emotions, then you can, prepare yourself to be able to sit still. And it's just a conversation that you have to have with yourself. And I like to challenge students to put themselves in a position where this is for you. You're challenging yourself to do something better for you, to give yourself this space that can create an endless wealth of just positive feedback and positive outcome on a personal level. Man, because we live in a society where people don't really think about the person next to them. They don't think about how their actions are affecting not just themselves, but everything around them. And it could change the course of a whole day, not just for yourself, but everybody around you. We live in a society today where, our children aren't taught to be respectful, hold doors, if you see someone come and, move to the side. It's just the mindfulness of just your surroundings has totally been, I feel like it's been eliminated from the growing stages of our society. But if you can expose children to these qualities, and they're just core values, I think. Mindfulness is just being very aware of how you show up in the world and how you respond to things, which can affect the world on so many levels. And we just teach the very basics of mindfulness. In the beginning I was telling you that I always felt that I was a leader. We just help kids see that the leadership starts at the most basic level. And I'll use a quick example. It was a hot summer day in Detroit, and I asked my son to cut the grass. And he was like, all right. But when he went out and he cut the grass, the neighbor next door decided to come out and cut their grass. And then the lady across the street decided to cut her grass. And I showed him, I said, see, leadership starts at the most basic level. You took the first initiative to clean up your yard, and now half the neighborhood is cleaning up their yard. So, I try to help students see that leadership isn't a far-off journey. It could just be you being that kid that sees something in the hallway, a piece of paper, you pick it up, throw it away. The next kid may do it. The leader starts with the mindset to just be the first, to see a situation and try to provide a solution. Is for me every day, I'm a parent myself. I'm raising two teenage boys, alone, single dad. And of course, when you're in that teenage phase, you think you got all the answers. But when my sons come home to me and tell me, you know, hey, Dad, that conversation we had the other day, you was right. You know, I was talking to my friends about it, and yeah, you know, like they don't even know, or they've never had a relationship like we had. They don't even have a dad they can talk to. So moments like that, you know, it just feeds the soul. It's like, wow, you know, the information that you wished you had when you were a kid, you didn't get it, and then you have the opportunity to pass it on to another child or a teenager, and you see the results. It keeps you going. Oh yeah. I mean, we have them all the time, but most recent there was a situation where my son had gotten into an altercation or accused of something at school. And the old, you know, he's thinking he's going to get the advice from the old me. And I said, no, we're not even going to play it like that, you know. Just want you to go back in and just be honest, you know, because communication is, I feel, one of the biggest things that we lack in our society. It don't matter where you're at, where you're from. People think that they are speaking to people, but more so, you can talk at somebody, but then there's a different type of language when you're really speaking to somebody. Because you're allowing space for that person to share and for you to be heard on a deeper level. And so I asked my son, I said, well, just go back to school and explain yourself. Make sure you keep your emotions intact. And if they don't respond the way you want them to, that's cool. But just explain your part. And of course, with him explaining the situation and being able to talk, now there was a dialogue, and then they were able to get to the bottom of the situation. And he came home and he was excited. You know, in his mind, first he thought, "Oh, I got accused. This is the situation, and I'm gonna have to beat the guy up," or whatever the case was.
Thank you for watching A Wise Way. Subscribe to stay updated, share to pass the knowledge, or view our other videos on the left.